There are three different cryptocurrencies that I am diving heavily into for the next bull market because I think they have 3 to 5x potential. And let me give you a hint, these are all blue chip assets that have performed substantially well in the previous bull markets. Let's hop in. First things first, I want to break down my strategy for analyzing different cryptocurrencies that have a ton of potential in the next bull market. What I usually like to do is look for high performing crypto assets that still have their hype, ones that have performed well in previous bull markets and are still performing well to this day and performed well in the bear market. So the first one we're going to be taking a look at is Polygon. And if we look at Polygon right now, currently it sits at nearly 81 cents. And if we look at the previous all-time high of Polygon, it was around $2.90. So we could say that Polygon could go up to that $2.90 mark, but what we have to factor in is that Polygon might be inflationary. That's another thing to look into because different cryptocurrencies might be inflationary, deflationary, or their supply might just stay the same. And if they're putting more tokens in circulating supply, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for that cryptocurrency to get back up to its price all-time high. So I usually look at the market cap all-time high. I'll switch it over to market cap on Coin Market Cap, and I'll look over here and say MATIC peaked at roughly $20.59 billion worth of market cap. Currently, it sits at a market cap of $7.5 billion. So if Polygon goes back to its previous market cap all-time high, I will have a 2.73x return from current price. Now, of course, that's not even factoring in if Polygon's market cap goes even higher than previous. And chances are it's going to set a new market cap all-time high because historically the crypto market grows as the next bull run progresses. If Bitcoin beats its all-time high and Ethereum beats its all-time high, chances are MATIC is also going to be beating its all-time high, at least when it comes to the market cap. Now, as you can see, if it goes back up to its price all-time high, we're reaping roughly a 3.6x return. So it's a lesser return if it goes back to its market cap all-time high because they have put more tokens in circulation. So that's just something that we need to keep in mind. Now, personally, I do think it can beat its previous price all-time high. It's just this is what I look for when I'm analyzing cryptocurrencies. And with that being said, the first cryptocurrency on my list is going to be MATIC from Polygon Technologies. Now, MATIC just announced a 10-year plan to move MATIC over to something called POL, and this is known as Polygon token essentially, and this is going to inflate at a rate of only 1% per year. But essentially there is a vibrant ecosystem under the Polygon umbrella. The first one is Polygon Proof of Stake, and this is what we all know as the Polygon network, and this is an EVM chain that uses MATIC token as the gas token. If we take a look at DeFi Llama and we head over to the chain section, you can see that Polygon is ranked number 5. It has just as many active users in the last 24 hours, if not more than Ethereum at some points in time, and it has a total of 487 protocols, which is roughly half of the amount that Ethereum has. However, its TVL is $835 million, so nearly $1 billion, and it has roughly $1.1 billion of stablecoins on its network, with a 24-hour volume transacted of $220 million in the past 24 hours on Polygon network. And of course, its market cap to TVL ratio is a 9, very similar to Ethereum, which is 9.6. So with that being said, I will say it has some pretty good metrics, and this is the network that we all know and love and has super cheap gas fees because it uses MATIC token as the gas token. Now, this is what they consider a sidechain. The reason why it's a sidechain is because it is built on the side of Ethereum using Ethereum's technology, but not security. So it's completely separate chain that's just like a copy paste of Ethereum, except using MATIC as the gas token and with some better technology to make sure the transaction fees are super cheap. Now, there's also Polygon ZK EVM, which is a ZK rollup for Ethereum, and it's a layer 2 scaling solution. That basically means that it's built on top of Ethereum and uses Ethereum security. So let's go ahead and draw a quick diagram. Right here we have the Ethereum network. This is the network that we all know and love that has super expensive gas fees. Now, there's a few different solutions to solve those gas fees. Number one is to build another network right here on the side that's just not as big as Ethereum. And this is what we consider the Polygon network, a side chain. Whereas we can also build something called a layer 2 scaling solution, which would be Polygon ZK EVM network. And this is essentially built on top of the Ethereum network instead of on the side of Ethereum network, which means that it's directly connected to the Ethereum network. So if you look at the Polygon ZK EVM transaction or the layer 2 transaction, you can see that there's a section for layer 1. This is the batch index, the committed batch transaction hash, and the L1 verified batch transaction hash. So if we go ahead and look at the index, you can see that there are a few different transactions within this index, a total of 5. And if we go back, we can look at the layer 1 committed batch transaction hash, and that's essentially a batch of transactions that were deployed on the Ethereum mainnet and were confirmed on the Ethereum mainnet as well, as you can see right here. And if we go and look at the verified batch transaction hash, you can see that once again, it is verifying these transactions on Ethereum mainnet. So that's exactly how it uses the security of Ethereum mainnet to essentially build on top of Ethereum instead of building on the side. Now, of course, both of these networks obviously have their own use cases. Polygon network obviously being super cheap, using MATIC as the gas token, bringing real world businesses onto the blockchain and allowing them to use the blockchain, whereas Polygon ZK EVM is meant to make Ethereum cheaper and make Ethereum more scalable, where people can use the Polygon ZK EVM network instead of just using the Ethereum mainnet. So one of the major differences is obviously the Polygon network is going to use something called MATIC as the gas token, whereas the Polygon ZK EVM network is actually going to use Ethereum as the gas token. Now, they also have something called Polygon Maiden, which is another public chain, but this instead prioritizes ZK compatibility over actually being an EVM chain, if that makes sense. And granted, it probably does not make sense to a lot of you, but this is something that's going to be coming in the near future for Polygon. They also are working on app-specific chains called Polygon CDK, where you can build Ethereum layer 2s with industry-leading ZK tech and ecosystem. So this will essentially allow you to build your own Polygon blockchain, essentially, if you need a specific decentralized application on your own blockchain or whatever it may be. There are many different use cases for this. And then one of the things that I think is super important is something called Polygon ID, a blockchain native identity system known for its decentralized identity capabilities. Essentially, this is an infrastructure that uses blockchain technology to actually verify identification and verify specific aspects. It's a similar concept to if you bought an NFT, let's just say, and that NFT grants you access to a concert. Well, then you have to verify that you own that NFT by signing maybe a blockchain transaction. With that being said, there are a lot of other use cases for MATIC. This is just scraping the surface level of it. If you guys want a dedicated video on MATIC, drop a like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Additionally, I want to mention that Polygon has been at some very good buying price points. Actually, on August 27th, I actually put out a post of one of my MATIC to USDC liquidity pools. Essentially, MATIC was trading at roughly 55 cents. I opened up a liquidity pool that allowed me to dollar cost average into MATIC as the price went down while earning fees instead of paying fees. I came out to making roughly $350 in fees, and then I closed out my position at a break even. So essentially, using this opportunity, I was able to increase my exposure by roughly 700 MATIC tokens. And just recently, I opened an Ethereum to MATIC concentrated liquidity pool on Uniswap v3. I invested roughly $20,500 into it. I made roughly $1,600 from just price appreciation. That's Ethereum and MATIC both going up at the same time, and I also collected roughly 320 fees. Ultimately, I take these fees and I go buy MATIC, and I just simply stake that MATIC so I can build my MATIC position. And this is doing roughly a 155% APR. Going a little bit further, we have Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is not the gas token for a network like MATIC is, but it has a lot of use cases in actually powering the blockchain. Its market cap currently sits at roughly $10 billion, but its all-time high market cap was roughly $25 billion. And as you can see, just recently, back in September, Link started rallying and going up a ton. So Link was one of the first assets to actually move in this bull market, which is why I think Link is going to be seeing a ton of potential over the next few years and potentially even breaching its price all-time high at roughly $50 and going far beyond that price point. But the basis of Link is it connects the world to the blockchain. It's right there on the website. What they allow you to do, or their main use case, is actually implementing different price data directly into smart contracts. So these are known as Oracle solutions. Chainlink provides oracles that allow you to access real-world data in blockchain smart contracts. One of the main use cases would be, let's just say, on OB, where essentially OB uses Chainlink to pull in different prices for different assets to make sure that they can liquidate certain positions that are about to go into a negative. If, let's just say, you're borrowing against your Ethereum, and then Ethereum starts to decline, and now your borrow starts to nearly exceed your actual collateral, then what it's going to do is it's going to automatically sell your Ethereum. But the way it actually knows that the price is going down and how much your Ethereum is worth is by actually pulling in the data from Chainlink and pulling in Ethereum market price from different markets of Ethereum. Now, obviously, they have use cases in many different industries, including financial services, DeFi, which is the biggest one, gaming, NFT collectibles, climate markets, enterprise, and even insurance. Going further, they have a lot of different products. One of the major ones is proof of reserve. Essentially, how proof of reserve works is it brings off-chain reserves directly onto the blockchain, and it verifies it on the blockchain. For example, we have wrapped Bitcoin proof of reserves. It needs to make sure that there's enough Bitcoin to collateralize the overall wrapped Bitcoin, and that's exactly what Chainlink proof of reserve does. Going further, they have market and data feeds. This is what we talked about where it triggers liquidations on OV. They also have a new data stream option that I'm not going to dive too deep into. One of the other cool features that's new is cross-chain communication. This is essentially where they can communicate cross-chain between different blockchains. Maybe we have the Ethereum blockchain and the Polygon ZK EVM blockchain, and they need to communicate through the smart contracts. Well, this is exactly what Chainlink is enabling them to do. And additionally, they have different functions like connecting any smart contract to any API to run different Web3 computation through these APIs, different ways to automate smart contracts, as well as a random number generator for something like minting random NFTs to ensure fair outcomes. The basis is Chainlink essentially powers all the different blockchains, and the largest decentralized applications actually use Chainlink, and they have been around for a very long time, which is exactly why I am dollar cost averaging into Chainlink no matter what the price is. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have Solana. Solana has been doing absolutely insane recently. If we look at just the 1 year price, you can see back in late September it was trading at roughly $20, and now it's trading at $60. That's a 3x return, which is nuts. If we look at the all-time high of Solana, you can see that the all-time high price was roughly $260. And if we look at the all-time high market cap, it peaked at roughly $80 billion, which is insane. Currently, the market cap sits at $24 billion. So if we were to do, let's just say 80 divided by 24, Solana still can reap a 3.3x return by going to its previous market cap all-time high. If it goes past that market cap all-time high, we have another 2 to 3x return in play, maybe giving your overall position a 5x return. And if it were to go to its price all-time high, that's a 4.3x return. Just remember they did put more tokens in circulation since the previous all-time high, so it will be a little bit harder to get there. Now let's talk about what Solana is. Solana is one of the fastest, if not the fastest and cheapest blockchain out there, and it does not rely on Ethereum network, and it does not use Ethereum network virtual machine known as EVM. It is a completely custom coded network, and actually looking at some of the top DeFi networks, you can see Solana is up there at number 8. So it is below MATIC, but it does have 212,000 daily active users, and it has a lot of room to grow considering it only has 115 protocols on the network, but it has a TVL of $580 million, with more stablecoins on it than Polygon network has at $1.5 billion. Additionally, the 24-hour volume is double what Polygon's is at roughly $475 billion, with a market cap to TVL ratio of 41.98. The basis of Solana is it is super cheap and it is super fast. Currently, there are 11.5 million active wallet addresses on the Solana network, with 21.9 million NFTs minted in overall. Additionally, you won't even believe this, but the average cost per transaction is less than a penny at 0.00025. So it essentially costs nothing to transact on Solana network. That means if I have even 2 billion USDC tokens and I want to send those 2 billion to my other wallet address, I'm paying 0.00025 in fees essentially. And then same thing if I had $1 of USDC and I wanted to transact that, I'm going to pay the exact same fee. Additionally, there are nearly 3,500 transactions per second, and it can keep up with these different transactions without getting congested, as well as they have over 1,900 validator nodes keeping the Solana network decentralized. And of course, it's energy efficient with a 0% net carbon impact. And of course, there are 243 billion total transactions on the Solana network. They have a lot of different case studies like the Helium network. You guys have probably heard of Helium miners before, where essentially it brings real world 5G networks onto the blockchain. Essentially how that kind of works is people can set up Helium miners, mine HNT token, and then in return they're essentially creating a network of these Helium miners which different devices can connect to anonymously. So one big example would be those different scooters that you can ride around and you can rent. Those have to connect to a network. Well, they could connect to the Helium network. And I did save the best for last, but I want to go ahead and show you a result from one of my clients that made $11,600 by yield farming in a Solana to Ethereum pool. They invested around $35,000 in this Ethereum to Solana liquidity pool, and they were able to collect about $3,000 in overall fees, as well as $11,000 in actual profit from just price appreciation. Ultimately, this gives them a huge leg up against the market because number one, they get to hold Ethereum and Solana, but number two, they get to make the fees, and number three, they're reaping all of these different price appreciation benefits. So when Ethereum, as well as Solana, goes up, obviously their position rises as well. It's just the difference is they're actually making fees that traders are paying. That comes out to roughly a 220% APR overall, which is nuts. And if you guys do want to learn more about how you can achieve those results for yourself, I recommend taking a look at the link to the Builder Wealth DeFi Accelerator program down below in the description. We have some awesome case studies from Mitchell, Ryan, Angela, and even the ones that I showed you earlier where my position was profiting over $2,000 just in a few days, and Alex's position was profiting $11,000 just in about 2 weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe when notifications turned on, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.